Hello, my name is Claire Long and I'm the Business Account Manager at Miele Professional. And today I want to talk about how you can control the risk of infection by using a commercial laundry system. During this seminar, I would like to give you a clear understanding on the various factors to take into consideration to minimise the risk of infection within your practice. We will be discussing how having the correct laundry process will minimise any potential risk of infection spreading. We will look at the various options to take into consideration when choosing equipment for your laundry room, what machines and services are required, and how the laundry room should be laid out. I will also share our experience within the care sector and discuss a few best practice regulations and how these will impact on the laundry room. Firstly, I'd like to give you an overview of Miele. The Miele company has a long and rich history of high quality engineering. Immer besser, or forever better, was established early as the company motto and stands for a commitment to the highest quality standards, longevity and improvement, both in production and in business practice. This philosophy is as relevant today as it was over 117 years ago. Founded in 1899 by a farmer's son, Carl Miele, and a salesman, Reinhard Zinkan. The company is still independently owned and managed by the Miele and Zinkan families. With global headquarters in Gütersloh, Germany, Miele is the world leader of production of premium domestic and commercial appliances. There are 8 production plants in Germany and 4 other plants across the world. Company turnover now exceeds 4 billion euros. Miele Professional is the commercial division of the company, and we manufacture commercial laundry, dishwashing, disinfecting and sterilising equipment for a range of markets including hospitals, care, dentists, hotels, restaurants, offices, and obviously animal care, which is what this presentation is about today. According to the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons figures, there were approximately 5,321 practices in the UK in 2014. This number rose by just over 12% between 2010 and 2014. There are currently approximately 57% of UK veterinary premises accredited under the RCVS Practice Standards Scheme. Within those practices, there are 19,682 veterinary surgeons and 11,661 veterinary nurses. There are many different types of veterinary practices within the UK, and the scheme has different categories of accreditation to accommodate these. However, the core standards apply to all types of accredited practices, of which cleanliness, hygiene and health and safety requirements feature heavily. There are several different types of veterinary practices within the UK, from farm to equine to small animal. As the vast majority of practices are small animal, the main focus of the presentation will be based on this area. However, I will go into more detail later on as to how the laundry process would differ slightly, dependent on if the animal care is being carried out on site or at various locations. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the importance of having a good commercial laundry process within your practice in order to minimise the risk of contamination, cross-infection and accumulation of pathogens in the veterinary premises and also in the field. Back in June, Miele conducted a survey through the Vet Times e-newsletter, and from this we established that 93% of veterinary practices did have a laundry on site. However, of these, 61% had a domestic machine. I will go into more detail later in the presentation as to why it's so important to have commercial laundry equipment as opposed to domestic, not only to ensure that bacteria is removed from the laundry, but also complies with water board regulations. Through our experience within the care sector, of which we are one of the leading suppliers of laundry equipment, we have taken our key learnings and applied them to the vet sector. There are several factors to take into consideration when choosing laundry equipment for your practice. The size and type of the practice will have an impact on the size and number of machines required, and if more than one laundry room is required. Ensuring you choose the correct machines for purpose is key. For example, the choice of a drain valve or drain pump machine should be taken into consideration. If sluice cycles are needed, then a drain valve machine would be required. This ensures that no blockages occur when the waste empties from the machine. I will cover this in more detail later on in the presentation. The flow of the laundry room is also important, as it's vital that processed laundry is not recontaminated by soiled items. And all practices apply the principles of a biosecurity policy and infection control. The laundry room and process flows are a key factor to include within this policy. It's important to understand how the laundry is processed within the entire practice and the laundry room, so the flow of machines work efficiently for the staff. All dirty linen, including scrubs, is carried into the room in containers. However, it's important that any soiled linen is separated from the rest of the dirty linen to prevent cross-contamination. This will need to be in a separate bag or a separate container, and either only opened when being put into the washing machine or put in a special colour-coded alginate bag which can be placed directly into the washing machine. After washing, it's important that the laundry doesn't touch the floor, so it will be transported to the dryer in clean containers and finally onto the racking system. It's also worth noting that similar considerations must be taken when working remotely from the practice. Any soiled or contaminated linen should be stored in a separate sealed container when in transit. Here we have mocked up a design to show what the laundry room could look like. Commercial washing machines need to be used as opposed to domestic in a vet's practice to meet regulations required, which I will cover later, and also to cope with the volume of work. In your work environment, reliability of the machine is key. Downtime has to be limited, as if laundry can't be washed, then infections can occur. Also, as mentioned earlier, having the correct drain option for the machine will eliminate the risk of blockages occurring due to the build-up of waste in pipes. A drain valve machine has a trap at the bottom, which opens to empty all water and foreign objects from the machine drum, as opposed to your standard domestic washing machine, which would have a drain pump system with a small hose which would pump out the water. The laundry would then be moved onto the commercial dryer, and also racking and containers would need to be stored in the laundry, so space needs to be provided for these. The laundry room should also have facilities to wash your hands after handling the soiled laundry. I would like to show you this with a video walkthrough which we've created. As you can see here, we have the Little Giant machines in a stacked configuration, which means the space required is minimised. In terms of services, all machines can be powered by electricity, and larger machines by gas, steam or electricity. If electricity, then either a 13 or 30 amp power socket would be required. Water needs to be available, along with drainage, and the whole room needs to be ventilated, both for the staff and the machines. Regardless of the size of your practice, there is a machine in our range suitable for you, from 5.5 kilograms up to 32 kilograms. All of our machines meet Category 5 standards of the Water Regulation Advisory Scheme. The dryers complement the washer range and can be condenser, vented or heat pump. Heat pump machines can be used where there is no facility to vent the machine externally, and also comes with the benefit of using approximately 60% less energy to run. As mentioned earlier, 61% of practices surveyed currently use a domestic washing machine to process their laundry. Commercial machines need to be used to meet water board regulations, which I will talk about in a minute, but also can save you a considerable amount of time when processing your laundry. Our Little Giant range of machines has a 6.5 kilogram capacity and can wash and dry a full load in just 85 minutes. If you compare this to a typical domestic machine, which would process the same load in approximately 210 minutes, it's clear to see the benefit. You would be able to wash and dry approximately 2.5 times more laundry in a commercial machine in the same amount of time as in a domestic, Plus, it also complies with the regulations. This is important as it helps to reduce the amount of soiled laundry waiting to be processed and cuts the risk of infection spreading. All Miele Professional machines are tested to last 30,000 cycles for washers and 40,000 cycles for tumble dryers, resulting in a life expectancy of approximately 12 to 15 years. A domestic appliance is tested to last for approximately 5,000 cycles in a domestic low-use situation. So with heavy use, a domestic appliance can last as little as 18 months. The unique patented honeycomb drum within the washer and dryer ensures the wash quality is maximised, and also that linen is not pulled through the holes in the drum, which can lead to damage of fabrics. Thus, the honeycomb drum preserves the linen quality. The dryer is quicker and gentler to the linen, again prolonging the linen life and ensuring no damage. Some of our machines are available with a drain valve option, which also includes a sluice program. Therefore, locations where soiled linen occurs can benefit from this option. This is in compliance with the Health Service guidelines. All Miele Professional machines are supplied as standard with a 24 months parts and labour warranty, with of course the option to extend. However, domestic appliances installed and operated within a commercial premises do not come with any parts or labour warranty, unless in exceptional circumstances where perhaps a short 3-month warranty may be offered. Due to considerably less operating times with commercial appliances, a huge amount of electrical energy and water is saved. The little giants use less energy and water for a wash and dry cycle than a domestic appliance. What is an additional benefit for your business is how the machines you choose can benefit you. Low energy and water consumption levels are therefore very important when choosing a machine. Washing machines which are on the government's water technology list are proven to be water efficient, and by choosing a machine from this list will enable your tax-paying practice to write off the whole cost of equipment against taxable profits in the year of purchase. So I've talked about the full range of machines and the benefit of choosing Miele Professional machines. Now I would like to give you some specific information on machines suitable for use within your practice. The Little Giant 6.5 kilogram machine takes up less than 1 metre squared when stacked and can process approximately 62 kilograms of laundry in an 8-hour day. The noise levels are less than 70 decibels, and to put this into context, the average speaking voice is between 60 and 65 decibels. In terms of frequency, our machine is between 6 and 12.5 Hz, which is lower than the lowest A key on a piano at 27 Hz. Our 8 kilogram machine still only takes up approximately 1 metre squared when stacked and can process approximately 75 kilograms of laundry in an 8-hour day. And as you can see, the noise and frequency levels do not increase from the Little Giant range. As we move up again in capacity to the 10 kilogram machines, these cannot be stacked but still only take up less than 3 metres squared side by side. These machines would be able to process 96 kilograms of laundry in an 8-hour day. And again, as you can see, the noise and frequency levels remain consistent through the range. As mentioned previously, the Miele range of products goes all the way up to 32 kilograms. However, from our experience within the industry, a 10 kilogram machine would be the maximum capacity required for most environments. As a responsible manufacturer, it's important for me to highlight the various regulations that need to be taken into consideration within your practice. It's important that all washing machines within a vet's practice meet the Category 5 guidelines of the Water Regulations Advisory Scheme. Any water fitting which is linked to the public mains water supply must comply with these guidelines. Category 5 covers fluid which represents a serious health hazard, including fluid which is infected or contaminated. So all vets, care homes, hospitals would need to comply with this standard. RAS approval is accepted by every water supplier in the UK. In addition to RAS, it's important to be aware of other guidelines for this marketplace, such as Health and Safety at Work Act and the Management of Health and Safety at Work regulations. One of the most important guidelines for the care sector, which we believe should also be applied as best practice to vets, is the new Health Technical Memorandum guidelines around the decontamination of linen for health and social care. The Health Technical Memorandum for Policy and Procedures state that in order to kill bacteria, linen should be thermally disinfected using wash cycles that achieve 65 degrees Celsius for at least 10 minutes, 71 degrees for at least 3 minutes, or 82 degrees for at least 1 minute. There are different temperatures and holding times dependent on the items being processed. There are several other items of equipment that should be taken into consideration for infection control within your practice. We have talked about laundry equipment for processing animal items, but it's also important that a separate washing machine is used for non-animal contact items such as tea towels used in the staff kitchen. This would be enforced by the health and safety guidelines for the practice. Thermal dishwashers can be used to wash all feeding bowls, scoops, containers, etc. But again, it's also important to note that dishwashers used in the staff kitchen for cups, etc. should not be used for any items that have come into contact with the animals. Washer disinfectors are used to ensure all instruments and equipment is effectively cleaned prior to sterilisation if required. Procedures must be in place to minimise cross-infection in clinical areas. Cleaning and disinfection materials must be readily available and used in all areas of the practice. So hopefully you should now have a clearer understanding on the various elements that need to be considered to minimise the risk of infection within your practice. To recap on the points we've discussed, we've looked at the regulations that are applicable to the care and vet environment. Most importantly, making sure that the machines you use are approved to Category 5 standard of the Water Regulations Advisory Scheme and are able to thermally disinfect all bacteria in the laundry. We discussed the range of machines and advantages of using a commercial machine rather than domestic, not only from a time-saving aspect, but also so that they comply with the regulations. We looked at how a laundry room could be laid out to ensure a smooth workflow and eliminate risk of recontaminating any clean laundry.